everything they said is talking about belief and having belief in what? And that belief is the thing that allows you to have a faith. That's how you open up heaven. And then that's how they're doing it in their life. This is not my key. I'm really sucks. And I just wanted to be in this room with you guys and learn from all you guys. I don't have any talent, but then God is working very powerfully towards Andy. And this is not towards me. I'm so thankful. Guys, I love you guys. These people are the best people that I've ever met. But what they just set up here is all very perfect. And they want to show you that it's perfect, and the glory is to God, and this is for God, and the glory to be God. So love you guys. Thank you.
Tyler just explained how this is real and how this is true, just based off of my life and the things that have happened to me. And I think that it's really good, like Andy always says, like grow closer to your team, like you need to know more of your team's stories. Some of you guys I barely have a conversation with and I don't really know you, but I've tried to do everything to try to like cure a relationship and be close to you. But if you're not, like the twins always say, you can't, Andy's not gonna come and catch after you and cure your relationship with you. Like you have to catch after Andy because he's moving at light speed paces. Well, there's a certain point in time where like I was trying to chase everybody else out to be part of the team, and now I'm just like, okay, like I'm outgrowing you now, so like you got to come and catch up too. But I want to share with you as we go along this timeline, and I'm going to make markers, like 6 different markers. I want you guys to do the same exact thing, but in your own life. So we're going to start with birth real quick. We're going to talk about like you being born into this world. We've talked about like how Ed Milet says you were born to be great. Andy always says there's so many instances where I shouldn't be here. You know how he cut his toe off? Right, he's bleeding everywhere. Like the doctor, he was telling him in the podcast yesterday, the doctor looked at him and said, your son's gonna die. He's not gonna make it because he's bleeding out. Andy's body was like black and blue. So my mom had me at age 15 years old. I'm not supposed to even be born here because everybody on my Japanese side of the family, the cultural tradition is if you are not married before you conceive, you have a baby, you have to have an abortion. Or we're going to disown you. You're not allowed to come back into the home. You're not welcomed. Now, the only person that saved my life is my grandfather because he's Catholic. And he goes, we don't believe that in Catholicism, so you're going to have Celina. So here my mom is pregnant at 14, gives birth to me at 15 years old. And I'm just like, and it's funny because back then, my grandparents were just like, abort her. All of her friends, everybody near her. And then now it's like, I have this amazing opportunity, so here I am. I want to shift you guys up into 6 years old. And this, like for you guys, this is going to be your own timeline. You need to create it. I'm just trying to show you why this is a proven factor of the law of vibration. So 6 years old, this is the last, actually I'm 4 in this photo, but my parents divorced at 6 years old. This is the last picture that I have of both my parents together. The only other photo that I have is when I graduated college. Probably the next time is when we get married or when we have kids. Other than that, this is the last photo that I have of my parents together. So these are like monumental moments to myself of like things that have really like sculpted and changed my life. Now I want to pivot because I used to tell myself an old story, like this is of my old life, of like my life sucks because I am like the 99% of the world where the parents are all divorced and I'm going to have like a shitty upbringing and, things are going to be difficult for me and I'm never going to find a man and things are going to be tough because my dad wasn't around. My mom had to pull, like, some of you guys have heard me on my phone calls, my mom had to pull late night jobs. My dad was constantly deployed. So I just didn't really have parents growing up. I was so independently growing up. Same for Tyler. Like his parents weren't really around. I'm gonna change you guys up to 1 year up. When I was 7 years old, there's a kid that became my best friend, and this is a picture of Jimmy. And this photo lives forever inside of my brain because this is the last photo that I have of Jimmy and I together. So my mom was in the Marine Corps, and her boss, who was above her, my mom had to pull late night jobs, so Jimmy's dad used to come and pick me up on the weekends to take me to the water park. And we had, like, he would pay lunch for me, like, because we didn't have a lot of money. And so I grew up with Jimmy, and Jimmy and I did sports together. And the whole story was like, oh, Jimmy and Celina are going to get married one day, and they're going to have kids because both their parents are in the Marines, and they're athletes. Well, my parents being in the military, we moved constantly around. So we moved to Japan, Georgia, Hawaii. So this is the last photo that I have of him together. When he was 19 years old, he got into a really bad car accident. was drinking and driving, and somebody hit his car and it gave him brain damage, and he was a vegetable for 2 years. So he couldn't move. He was completely paralyzed in a wheelchair. Jimmy's dad opened up his home to create like a second hospital inside of the house. And that was the last time that I ever saw Jimmy. It makes me realize like every single time that I feel ungrateful, I feel like I always go back to these boxes of things because I'm like, I have to remind myself like my destiny and like what I'm here for and the waves and the pictures that I'm painting. I'm going to fast forward us to where I'm like 16 years old. These are high school ages. So maybe like 15 to ages 18 years old, okay? This entire section right here, even actually growing up, this whole area, I was bullied as a kid, even as a young adult. I thought, it's so funny because I used to, you guys know how I give all the time?
Yes,
and I give. Dude, I used to do that my entire high school. Like, it's so weird because all the girls or the guys, like, they had a party or they would go hang out, but I never got invited. And I'm like, how come I never get invited? I'm like the coolest person. I give people gifts all day long. I'm like, I'm funny. I thought I was funny, but I'm like, how come, like, when we lived in Japan, we were on a military installation, and right across the way was the beach. So Friday afternoon, everybody would go out to the beach. We'd walk off base, it's 5 minutes away. But I'm like, why didn't I ever get invited? Like, why was I never accepted into this pool of people? Okay, well, like, you know how Andy says, like, he found an outlet? I found an outlet for myself because I didn't feel accepted in there. So that's when I got involved in the sport. That's when the competition started happening for myself, and like that winning mentality started to happen. So I keep this stuff because one day I'm like, I'm going to show my kids, and I really encourage all of you guys, no matter what age that you are, to keep your accomplishments. Because as a child, I'm always like, I'm going to save this stuff for my kids. I'm going to save them. And now I'm 29. I'm like, thank God, Celina, you told yourself that you're going to save all this stuff. But I remember being like a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, and getting a varsity letter all 4 years. Because like I couldn't fit in with anybody. And the reason why I'm like showing you guys all this stuff is because I don't like to be a kind of person that says that I've done things and then they're like, okay, well, where's the numbers? Where's the proof? Give me the fucking proof. Like, don't tell me that you're all about being a business athlete if you're not it. I dug all this stuff up this morning so I could show you, like, this is my proof. This just wasn't, I didn't make this yesterday. Like, these are my accolades of what I have for myself. So this is where sports started to get introduced, and this is where, like, that winning mentality started to begin. Okay, I'm gonna fast forward us to being 18 years old, getting into the car business. So this age, and remember, this is all for you guys, like, you gotta map out in your life. These are the different recreations that you're having. Jesse Castillo told me, you have total recreations. You have a bunch of them. It's not just one. And if you have just one, like, then you're not growing your own self. So 18 years old, I started working at a T-Mobile for 6 months, and then that's when I found the car business. That, like this, with a business, and then, like, tying sports in together, created me to become a whole nother animal. And I'm just like, dude, from 18 to, I mean, I was in the car business till, like, 27. But this time period right here, till I was 22 years old, by the way, my parents kicked me out at 18. They're like, good luck, we're gonna give you this piece of shit car that you gotta pay us $3 grand for cash. I had no money in my bank account. My stepdad was a total dick, and I had to go give up all my savings that I had earned when I was 18 years old to give him all this money for this stupid car. So check this out. We had a competition at our dealership, and some of you guys have seen this, some of you haven't, but I know a lot of you guys are newer in here. But we had a competition of all the ladies inside of the dealership, and I was just like, man, I'm gonna win this, because I'm not a kind of person with sports, being in business, like, I'm gonna freaking take over this stuff, right? So check this out. This is the first time ever in the state of Hawaii, and I've kept this. This is in 2015, 6/18/15. In the state of Hawaii, this has been the only time where all females had sold 20 plus cars at one dealership, and there's one other girl that's in here. Wow. So like, this is something that I keep, because I want to show my kids that you can do like all of these things, right? But this is what I want you guys to realize. This girl went back to her old life. She's now going at T-Mobile because the car business was too stressful for her. Both of these girls, they married a sugar daddy, and they went with a military captain that already has all the money. There's another girl that's not in this photo that's still living her same life. There's probably a reason why she's not in this photo, because she's still living her same life. Financially, like, not set, not taking care of her kids. She texts me all the time and asks me for money. I'm like, I'm not gonna give you money because, like, I know where your intentions are at, but she keeps living the same exact life over and over and over. Okay, now check that out. Not only getting that, but my stepdad used to tell me all the time, you're not gonna graduate high school, let alone college, right? But I had the law of the vibration, and I had that believability in myself. So your law of vibration, if you plus minus your belief, that's going to equal your success level, and your success level is either going to be high or it's going to be low. And I know a lot of us in here, Andy's probably said a lot of podcasts like, oh, you don't need to go to college in order to go make $200,000. Yes, that is true, but I'm like, fuck that, I want both. I fucking want a degree and I fucking want to make $200,000 a year, motherfucker, because I'm that girl.
Come
like,
get it.
You know what I mean? Like, and I even had my sales manager, I'll never forget this. He's like, I'll pay you, Celina, to not go to college to sell more cars for me. Because he just wanted, that's what success was money. And I'm like, no. And I literally went to school Monday, Wednesday, Friday, from 7 o'clock in the morning till 2 o'clock in the afternoon, drove to the dealership, and then from 2:30 to 9 o'clock I sold cars.
Nice.
And I worked on weekends.
Come on.
Because I wanted to prove to my brothers, at this time I have 3 younger brothers, that anything is possible.
Wow.
And it was so hard, but it's like now I have something to show. Like, this is me. You know, and I'm not fake. And by the way, Tyler and I aren't frauds. So anytime that you're going to come and ask us for advice or you want assistance, like we've got, these are our numbers to prove, like we are who we are, and we went through this. And living in one of the most expensive states in the United States of America, this is hard. But you know what happened between all of these things, like all this stuff that has happened in my life? I had another massive thing that happened at 23 years old. I want you to pay close attention to this because we're almost at the end of the line. I worked with an employee at my dealership that raped me and took advantage of me. He put drugs inside of my drink. And I'm just like, how does this happen? How is it that in high school I'm so kind and I give to all these people and I give, and I'm killing it in life, and then this guy just comes and he just fucking ruins everything for me. Like, what? I have always been such a good person, and this guy just comes into my life and takes advantage of me. I go up to that same sales manager, the one that says that I'll pay you to work for me, and I said, hey, the other weekend, this guy took advantage of me. He put something inside of my drink and then drove me home in my car, and the next thing I know, he's trying to take my clothes off, and the next morning, well, I put 2 and 2 together, I knew what had happened to me. And the guy, when I confronted him, he's like, no, well, we were just hanging out, and I mean, I caught him in all the lies, but I didn't know what to do because I'm 23 years old, and I'm the top producer at this freaking thing making the newspaper, so here I am, I feel embarrassed and ashamed, and people are going to start being like, oh, you're a slut, you sleep with everybody. So now I'm just like, I'm fucked, so I don't know what to do, I don't have anybody, my parents kicked me out at 18, I'm trying to figure it out while going to school, and I'm just like, don't know what's going on. And so I go to that sales manager because I thought he was my mentor. See, we have to be very careful about finding people that have gone where it is that we want to go. I thought the sales manager was my mentor because he paid me so much because he had a big house on the hill. And I told him the situation. I said, this guy that works at our dealership, you know, he took advantage of me. And he's like, that's it, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. They did nothing about it. They didn't fire the employee. He worked at a sister store, a Dodge dealership in Honolulu. I was in Pearl City. 2 months later, they transferred him to my store. I went up to the sales manager. I said, why did you transfer him? You know what happened. Why would you put us in the same dealership together? He goes, oh, you're still on that? Like, you haven't let that go? Like, that's still bothering you? You need to let it go. And I'm just like, dude, that's why part of me, like, loves the car business, because not only did it teach me about business, finances, but it taught me how to have thick skin and how to, like, overcome and get through things. So I'm just like, all right, I guess I just gotta suck it up, and then this is where my attitude, like what you guys see how I am now, and now I'm like, like this. Well, this is when I wasn't like that, okay? My next part of my life is when I was 27 years old, and this is when I found Andy Elliott. Things changed for me. Because I saw his story and the things that he had gone through, and I'm like, I see me and you are me, and you're an overcomer of these things, and like, I'm an overcomer too. And that's why I feel like, that's why I say I'm the female version of Andy Elliott. I really do feel that inside of my soul. So I find Andy, but not only do I find Andy, but at the age of 28, a year later, I find Tyler Glennon. And it's crazy because one of the first books that Tyler ever gave me, this book is so special to me. We used to trade books with each other, self-development books, but he writes in here, he goes, Sel, this book helped me through a big transition in my life, and I hope that it can do the same for you. You deserve to have all the belief in the world and yourself, and you're a badass. Cheers to the adventure to come. See you at the top, Tyler. P.S. Dream big, because it's what you're able to imagine that you have the opportunity to get. And it's funny because he gave me this book before we were even dating. And so I'm just find all these things that have like happened. And Tyler asked me the other night, he goes, Celina, when you're 30 years older, so when you're 58 years old, and we're sitting at the dining room table together, and you look back, you take all these arrows, are you going to be proud of yourself and all these things that you'd accomplished and that you had gone through? So I think it's very important that we really do focus on having that law vibration and having that like belief inside in the power of the Elliott Group and the power of the team and how we can overcome adversity. This is the last thing I'm going to share with you guys. And Tyler sent me this video the other day, and it makes me cry every single time I watch it, and I have it saved on my phone. So that way, if I am losing my gratitude, I can go back to this. It's on my phone, but I'm gonna play it out loud so you guys can hear it, and I'll just hold it right here. But I really want you to listen. I want you to listen to the video. I think it's like 2 minutes long. So Tyler and I both have virtual assistants, so they take care of both of like our back end work stuff, that miscellaneous DMs and stuff. Tyler found Grizel through an agency, and she reached out to him and said, hey, can I still do your work for you? And then I needed one. So
yeah, I was going to stop using the service because it just wasn't what I thought I wanted. And then she reached out to my Instagram and was like, hey, like I really need a job. I have kids, I have a family. And I was like, all right, let's talk.
And they're in the Philippines. And then I hired her husband. So it happened. It was weird because like we hired them before Tyler and I got together. And then when we got together, they're like, we're so excited you guys are together. But check this out. So Grizel, the mom of the household, they have 3 kids. She sent us this video, and I just want you guys to listen very closely.
Hello, Ty. I just realized that it's been a year since I started working for you. It's my work anniversary. Time flies. At first, I'm really scared that you will not accept me. So I prayed and prayed that I hope you will accept me. I wanted to express my gratitude for you and Sel for being such a blessing to our family. In the past year, so much has improved for us. Our roof is fixed. Remember when I first asked for advance pay? We upgraded to a bigger television, got a new laptop, switched to a larger fridge stocked with
This is their fridge, their mini fridge, like in a hotel.
Never forget that you
That's
and
their fridge.
Sel even helped with our kids' books.
The kids couldn't go to school before us.
We can all afford to send our kids to a better school. If you see on my Instagram, you'll notice we've been able to travel to some amazing places courtesy of my in-laws who treat us for yearly vacations. It's always been a dream to travel with our kids using our own money, and now we can make that a reality. I'm getting emotional while just thinking about it. My kids adore you and Sel. They love watching your YouTube videos, and my eldest even aspires to be like you someday. They can see how much our lives have improved since me and Mel started working with you and Sel. But enough with the drama. Seriously, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for accepting me as your VA. I promise to continue work hard as long as you still want me as your VA. And here's to more years of working together, and I hope to see you soon. And Sel, we love you, Ty and Sel.
Where I'm last leaving us off is Celina at 58, or you guys, and you're 30 years later. This is the power of the Elliott Group that we have to not just change lives in the United States, but internationally. Like their family, they get education now, and they get to go to school, and they can fix their roof because it was broken. But that didn't happen just yesterday. Like, I didn't have money before to be able to pay them, and now I'm just like so grateful. But it all came in a series of these things. And it's like, I had to go through all this shit. I had to go through all this fucked up shit in my life to unfuck my head, to be able to find the most beautiful thing in my life, to be able, it's like, God told me, Celina, I'm gonna put you through all this pain for 27 years, but I promise you, at year 29, it's gonna be so good. I promise you, I have something such good in store for you. So what I'm trying to get at is, you can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them looking backwards.
Yeah, and so there's one other thing that we wanted to mention while we're up here. When I look back in my journey, I've had a lot of help. I mentioned the mentors, the guidance, the people that have helped me. Somebody
the story of how I found Brad Lee is I crashed my car and then I got so pissed off because I couldn't get it fixed, couldn't get a new one. So I Googled how people make money and I found his podcast and I used to watch his podcast all the time and talked about Real Financial. I joined and then somehow ended up in Andy's basement. And, right? And so when I crashed my car though, I couldn't buy another one. And so there was a friend of mine who at that time I was really close with. I'm close with his parents now, which is interesting, but his parents, his dad, he's really well off financially. He bought me my car that I have now, and so I pay him every month, like a bank, right? Because I couldn't get it fixed. But they saw that I was struggling, that I was trying to do the right things. So I've had a ton of help. Like we've both had a ton of help in our lives, and so we sat down the other night, and it's funny because like the more money you make, I've realized the less stuff it actually need. It's weird. Right? I always thought it would be the other way around. I'd be like, I have all this cool stuff. But I'm just like, I don't know. I don't really care for it anymore. And so we decided that we're going to give my Nissan to Adam. And we want Adam to Adam, dude, you've impacted our lives so much, and we had breakfast with Evan and Jacqueline the other Sunday morning, and we talked about Adam the whole time.
Yeah.
And we were like, Adam's not like first on the rev board, he's not like the most in shape person, but he's had like a huge impact on all of us.
Yeah. Brought us closer to God.
Yeah. Really. Brought us closer to God, your believability, who you are as a person, and so. Yeah, we wanted to give you, we wanted to do something for you, and that's what we landed on.
This is why we believe that doing the right thing all the time is so important, because like in our lives we've done things good for other people and they haven't returned, and we want to do that for them.
I've never had anything happen like this in my life.
You guys need to see too.
You can throw a whiteboard with it too.
When I first faced a lot of rejection in my life, and I'm watching all this happen, guys. I come from the Bible college, right? So everything Bible is in my head, and then I'm watching what these people are saying. Everything they said is straight from God. It doesn't. You can't sense it. It doesn't look like it. But everything they said is talking about belief and having belief in what? And that belief is the thing that allows you to have a faith. That's how you open up heaven. And then that's how they're doing it in their life. This is not my key. I really sucks. And I just wanted to be in this room with you guys and learn from all you guys. I don't have any talent, but then God is working very powerfully towards Andy. And this is not towards me. I'm so thankful. Guys, I love you guys. These people are the best people that I've ever met. But what they just set up here is all very perfect. And they want to show you that it's perfect, and the glory is to God, and this is for God, and the glory to be God. So, love you guys. Thank you.
Good. But so, anyways, did you guys take away something today?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
You guys got to figure out your own timeline. You've got ours, but now it's your time to go make that. That way, when you're 58, you have the ability to go do those things. I want Tyler to do the creed.
Yeah!
Are we going to do it here? I'll give you the creed. So let's get up. Let's get up.
Come on!
Back it up.
Let's go, Adam. I don't think I've ever heard you speak louder than 40 decibels.
Tyler is not, he's not as loud.
Yeah, I've never seen Tyler do the creed before. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
Alright, here we go. Come on.
I'm an elite sales warrior!
I
will destroy my competition!
will destroy my competition!
I believe I can go
what's going on? Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for watching. If you like that video, you're gonna love this other content. Here's a couple of other videos that are very similar to that one. Let's get it.